Om Sadashiva-Samaramбhaं Shankaracharya-Madhyamam Asmadacharya-Paryantām Vande Guru-Paramparam. Yes, what is the question?
So, Vidhi is something like something which creates bhavna, also impelling to do something.
Do something, yeah.
So then the statements like Atma Vare Drashtavya, they are not, we are saying that is not...
It's not a Vidhi. That's
so then
argument.
is it then how do we call it? They are not Vidhi Vakya, no, really speaking.
They are not Vidhi Vakyas.
Yeah.
That's why last time we said that at the most Ardhangikara, half acceptance, we can take them as Ajnata Nyapakam. A Vidhi which is Ajnata Nyapakam, which what you don't know is being revealed.
So you don't take these as...
Listen. Ajnata Nyapakam means what? What you don't know is being revealed. As far as Karma Kanda is concerned, that is also a Vidhi. As far as we are concerned, it is not a Vidhi because it does not impel you to further action after that. Whereas in Karma Kanda, Ajnata Nyapakam is also meant for followed by Karma. Okay. Whereas here there is no Karma following. So in Vedanta we don't strictly put it as Vidhi. Okay. Ardhangikara we can say, okay, Ajnata Nyapakam, that much is accepted. Ajnata Nyapakam meaning what you don't know is being revealed to you. So that much we can take it. Yeah. Not more than that.
And Ardhangikara because I know...
Ardhangikara is half acceptance.
Because I know who I am, but I don't know
what I am.
What
exactly.
I am.
Yeah. Any other questions, clarifications? Because last time we spent elaborate time on the Vidhi part of it. Yeah?
Swamiji, just a quick one.
Yeah.
We normally say, so I want to understand if the words Samanvayat and Tatparya are they synonyms or is there a difference between the two?
Samanvaya means Samyak Anvayaha. An analysis or what will you put as Anvaya as? To look at different statements and come to an harmonious meaning. Samyak Anvaya, very well asserted. So there are different statements. To look at all of them and come to an harmonious understanding of the whole thing. A unitary understanding of the whole thing. This is Samanvaya. Okay? Whereas Tatparya is what is the intention of a particular statement. What is the intent? Okay? Well, so there also there will be some analysis involved. Because there may be more than one statement involved. There may be a whole text involved. A whole prakarna involved. Yeah. So the Samanvaya will lead you to the Tatparya Nishchaya. Samanvaya can lead you to more than Tatparya Nishchaya also. Yeah. That's why Tattu Samanvaya. That Advaitam Jnanam is gained. Tattu Samanvaya. Samanvaya is gained. Yeah. How etc. still has to unfold. Any other clarification before we go ahead? Okay. Yeah, because last time we had elaborately dealt with this. Okay. So, okay. Did we read this thing? No, last time? Okay. Tu shabdaha purvapakshaha vyatyarthaha. The tu shabda, tat tu samanvaya. The tu is to say, this is negation of the purvapaksha. How etc. the Bhashya will develop it. Okay. Tu is indication in the sutra. The tu shabda is to indicate negation of the purvapakshas. Tat means what? Tad Brahma Sarvajnam Sarvashakti. That Brahman which is also Sarvajnam Sarvashakti. Jagad Utpatti Sthiti Laya Karanam, which is the source, the sustenance and the resolution of this creation. Vedanta Shastra Avagamyate. This is understood only by Vedanta Shastram. How? Samanvayat. By Samanvaya. By the harmonious reading of all the Vakyas. Therefore, Tat to Samanvaya. So Tat to Samanvaya meaning to all the Purvapakshas are negated. Then Tat Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Jagat Karanam. Vedanta Shastra Deva Avagamyate. That means the second and the third sutras are involved here. Avagamyate by Samanvayam. By Vedanta Shastra Samanvayat. Okay. Now this is a statement. This has to be unfolded now. Therefore he says, Sarveshu hi Vedanteshu Vakyani Tatparyena Tasya Arthasya Pratipadakatvena Samanugatani. All Vedanta Vakyas, Sarveshu hi Vedanta Vakyani Tatparyena, with great intention, Tasya Arthasya. What Arthasya? Brahma, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahmandya Jagat Karanam Vedanta Shastra Deva Avagamyate. What we, the previous line, that Brahman, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman, which is also Jagat Karanam, that is understood only from the Vedanta Shastra. That is Shastra Yonitva. Shastra Pratipadakatvena Sanugatani. This Pratipadakatvena, to reveal this is the intention of the whole Vedanta Shastra. Okay, all right. For this, he says, then you have to examine Vedanta Shastra, the various prakarnas. So one prakarana which is evident for all of us, he says, he quotes. Now he doesn't quote the whole prakarana. One thing if you notice in Shankara's style of writing is, his quotations are the briefest. Sometimes there is only one word quoted. One word quoted. You are supposed to understand. Because you come to Brahma Sutras after learning all the Upanishads, na? So understood.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, PhD. So you want to understand that. Okay. So he says, from Chandogya, he says, Sadeva Somi Idamagrama Asit. This is Chandogya section. He is mentioning the first line of the teaching. It starts with a big story. Okay. Okay. Of Shetakvetu and Uddalaka. Uddalaka was a great rishi. Okay. Rishi Putras start Gurukula Vasa around 6 years of age. Okay. Around 6, they will start their Gurukula Vasa. Why? Because in birth they are exposed to all this. You can start early. Okay. Most Karma Brahmana families also started that early. Because lifetime you are learning it, you are chanted, etc. Some of the chants you are already familiar with. Chalo, you can start early. Okay. But Shvetaketu was sent to another Gurukula. Probably he couldn't learn from dad. Mushkil hai, dad. Yeah. To learn from your father or from your child, not easy. Not easy. I remember one of my young students, this girl came home. Okay. Years ago this is. My mother was there. Okay. So after that, when she was going, she told my mother, "You are so lucky. You have a Vedanta teacher right at home. Anytime you want to know something, he is right there only, no?" And my mother was looking at her as if you gone crazy or what? That's why Kapila Muni is considered great, because his mother learned from him. So it's natural. So similarly, child learning from father is not easy. It's never easy. Like my uncle, what do you call your mother's younger sister's husband? We call Chittappa, Chariyappa.
We call Mosa.
Huh?
Mosa.
No, he was a school teacher. And then he was posted to the same school that his children were there. So the elders boy said, You can't make me stand up on the bench. You can't make me do this. You can whack me, that's okay. So, relationship, multiple levels become difficult for children today.
Pujya Swamiji's mother used to attend classes.
She would come and stay in the ashram, attend the classes because she couldn't understand English. So she was not familiar with English. But she had a regard and everything. Though for her also took some time to accept. When he said he wanted to join all this thing and study, she took him all the way to Kanchi Acharya. You know, sometimes people are foolish. Like my parents coming and speaking to Swami. Swami Chinmayanji. Swami Chinmayanji said, what is wrong if you become someone like me? So the Kanchi Acharya told him the same thing. Told him, Swamiji's mother, how many children you have? Just 4. All the other 3 are doing what you want? Yes, all of them. Then let him become someone like me. What's the problem? Anyway, jokes apart. But so Shvetaketu comes back as a graduate at the age of 24. So you can imagine how much he must have struggled by learning from his own father. Very cocky youngster, etc. The whole story goes. Then, Arthavada statement now. Okay. The father asks the son, did you ask for that knowledge, knowing which everything is gained? And the son replies, I'm not sure my teacher knew that, because he didn't teach me that. The father, this Upanishad is silent. Probably the father looked at him. What did I ask? Did you ask for that? Then he said, is there something like that? Now here is Arthavada came in right at the beginning itself. It need not follow Upakrama, Upasamhara in the same order all the time. The teaching it will follow Upakrama, Upasamhara, but need not always follow. Arthavada comes in first. Then Upapatti, example comes in. Logic comes in. If you know clay, you will know all pots made of clay. So Karya, Sambandha comes in there. That the Karyam is nothing but the Karanam with Namarupa. That logic comes in there. Then, in applies it to the world, the teaching, the statement comes. Sadeva Saume Damagramasit Ekameva Advitiyam Brahman. All that is there is only one non-dual Brahman. Then, he probably naturally wants to know how. Then he gives, through various examples, he teaches and concludes Upasamhara by saying, Sa Atma Tattvamasi Svetaketo. So, Upakrama, Upasamhara, Upapatti, Arthavada. And Abhyasa. He says, please teach me again. You know? So 9 times his father teaches him. You know, 9 times it is taught. Tattvamasi is taught from 9 different standpoints there. Yeah, maybe we can do it. Coimbatore camp, I'm not sure. We can complete the whole thing. Let us see. So the whole section he covers. So everything has come. Then what is remaining is what? Shatlinga Vicharas, Upakarma, Upasamhara. Correct? Then Arthavada,
Phalam is removed.
Phalam. Result is knowing thing, everything else. No, Arthavada that covers the result also. What is missing out is Apurvata. Uniqueness. Uniqueness is a natural thing. Is there any knowledge that will teach you this about Brahman? Atma being Brahman, have you seen it? None of the Pancha Pramanas can teach you that. Because all the Pancha Pramanas operate on subject-object division. New aspect of it, okay? All Pancha Pramanas operate on subject-object division. And here what is being done? Subject-object division is being dismissed. So none of the Pancha Pramanas can deal with this knowledge. Not only that, any book, any text, any discipline of knowledge that is based on the Pancha Pramanas cannot reveal this. None of them can reveal this. Because it's based on division. Subject-object division. So any book dealing with any knowledge systems that is made based on subject-object division cannot reveal this knowledge. Therefore, apurvata is inferred there, right there. Okay? Indicated by the statement, did you ask for that knowledge? It's indicated. Why? That it has to come from an external source. That indication, it has to come from an external source is right there. Because Panchapramanas are with me, I can use them. I may need some help here and there to clarify certain things, but I can use them and figure it out. If you can use and figure it out, why do you read another person's writings, text, etc.? Because you don't want to reinvent the wheel all the time. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. Okay. Somebody has done it, okay, you read and understand what he has done, so fine enough. That's how knowledge grows. Otherwise, if you are going to reinvent the wheel, knowledge won't grow. There will be hardly time to take the next step. So, this is where the whole thing goes. Therefore, look at it in that dialogue. So, in that dialogue between Uddalaka and Shvetaketu, what is revealed is what? Ekameva advitiyam Brahman. And that only the Shastra can reveal it is a natural corollary. By the Guru Sishya Parampara, that's understood. Where did Uddalaka get it from? From his teacher, whoever he was. We don't know. We don't know. Yeah. So, that's where the whole thing comes. Okay. So, that Chandogya thing is now establishing what he has said. Unfolding that all the Vedanta Vakyas, Samanvayat, reveals Brahman Jagat Karanam. What is being said in Janmadhyasya and Shastra Yonitvat is reaffirmed. Tattu Samanvayat. It's been reaffirmed there. Okay. Therefore, he says, then Ekameva Advitiyam Brahman from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. There also is an elaborate discussion. Okay. Okay. Two things we can do. Probably you may not have Brihadaranyaka or Chandogya with you, but you will have other texts. If you have 8 Upanishads, you will have other texts.
Yes, 8 Upanishads.
Next Saturday, no class. Next Sunday, no class. Maybe you can go over these sections that are quoted here. Okay? And see what it is. And if there are any doubts, etc., check up with me when we meet again. 1 Sunday gap. Okay? It will be a good exercise in seeing that. One I have done. Okay? Similarly, from Brihadaranyaka Ekameva Advitiya. Then Aitreya Upanishad. That also we have seen. Okay? Atma va idamagra asit. Similar to Chandogya in that. Before all this, there is only one Atma, and the world is a manifestation, Satyam Mithya implied. Look at it. When you say Sadeva Saumya Damagram Asit Ekameva Advitiyam Brahman, and from there the world has come, Maya is implied. Why? Because there is no real change. There is no real change in Atma becoming. Because he is not presenting the world as a modification of the Atma. Because the moment you will say Advitiyam, technically what is Advitiyam?
Only
Sajatiya, Vijatiya, Swagata, Veda, Rahitam. Okay. Nothing other than it. No division within it. One of a kind. Not many. Therefore, in other words, free from time and space. That's another nuance that comes from it. Not conditioned by time and space. If it is not conditioned by time and space, then how can it change to become the world? It only appears as a world. Then what makes it appear as a world? Maya Shakti. You call it what you want. The one term given as Maya Shakti. And it's a good term. Why? That which is not really there is Maya. Otherwise you will think there are two realities, Brahman and Maya. And you will make mathematical equations. Brahman plus Maya is equal to Ishvara. Therefore Ishvara minus Maya is Brahman. Therefore Brahman is less than Ishvara then. You'll have all types of problems coming up by these so-called modern presentations, when you like to tabulate and present it. That's conceptualization. And the truth here is non-conceptual. It's a non-conceptual reality. Therefore you have to understand it as it is without conceptualizing. That means without all these formula equations. Don't try to make it scientific. It doesn't work. Some disciplines of knowledge have its own logic behind it. Just because it's a discipline of knowledge, it need not follow the pattern of another discipline. It's important to understand. Physics and biology both are science. But do they have the same laws and principles at work? It's completely different. Biology and physics are completely different. In fact, most people who have a taste for biology don't like physics and vice versa. Similarly here, both are part of the Veda, but Bhinna Prakarma. Therefore, disciplines of knowledge are different here. Pramanyam is because both are the Veda. That's why we had a difference of Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. Okay. So here we have Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. Atma Vedamakramasīt. Tat etat Brahma. Purvamanam aparam anantaram abhahyam. Etad Brahman. This Brahman, okay? What is that? Purvam, that is in front of you. What is that? Brahman only. What is in front of you? Space. Space, Brahman. People, Brahman. Okay. Anantaram aparam. There is nothing other than it. There is nothing beyond it. Anantaram, there is nothing within it. There is nothing outside it. No inside, outside. No, means all spatial conditions are being negated. So if you notice here, it is not a descriptive presentation. Because a descriptive presentation will again make you conceptualize, give you subject-object. That's why you will find a lot of words which are words negating certain things. Because you are trying to conceptualize. If I say, okay, Brahman is infinite, what do you think of? Some vast space-like thing, no? With everything inside it. Some super container-like thing. Neither inside nor outside. Oh, nothing other than it. Because everything is in a container, but there are differences within the container. No? One big container, you put everything. Okay. Differences are there? No differences. No inside, outside. Nothing other than Brahma. So all that conceptualization that comes from using the word limitlessness is negated by all these. So this is the methodology of teaching also. So there is no separate teacher's training course, okay? When you understand the knowledge, you understand the methodology. To understand the knowledge, you will get to get the methodology. Because your mind is to move on those lines. Okay. Then I am Atma Brahma Sarvanu Anubhuhu. This Atma, the one that Sarvanubhuhu, that is experiencing everything. Or that's objectifying. That Atma is Brahman. I am Atma Brahman Sarvanubhuhu. Brihatva Brahman. You can explain in 100 different ways. We have seen all these explanations. Okay. Limitlessness is Brahman. The Brahman, the word itself implies limitlessness. Brihat Dhatu, a noun out of big, the big. The big means what? Limitless. What is that? Atma. You are a awareful, conscious being. So this conscious being is limitless. That means consciousness is limitless. That's what you are saying. And is limitless, where is duality? There cannot be duality when there is limitlessness. Okay? Brahmeva idam amrutam purastat. Amrutam Brahma eva purastat. What is in front of you? So many things. Amrutam Brahma. Amrutam from the standpoint of time. Immortal Brahman. Either you will dismiss space or you will dismiss time. One of the two things will be used to reveal what it is. Therefore, Amrutam Brahma. Okay. Mundaka. Ityadini. Plenty of sections. Each Upanishad is a dialogue. And in Chandogya, Vrinanaka, etc., there are multiple dialogues. All of them dealing with Ekameva Advitiyam Brahma. Tatparya, you will come to that. Teachers are different. Students are different. Approaches are different. Popular approach. Let us take Chandogya approach. Shvetaketu. Chandogya also there are many. Shvetaketu's approach. Knowing which everything is known. It's a very different thing. Okay, very intellectual approach. Is appealing to the intellect. If you look at it, it's appealing to the intellect because you know this, you can know everything. Why? It's a little bit, the youngster is a bit cocky. Cocky means what? Thinker. Remember this. It is intellect that makes you cocky. That's why the moment he found that there's a possibility, all that cockiness disappeared, humility came in. Yeah. That's why I wouldn't present him as very arrogant and things like that. Arrogance doesn't disappear like that. Cockiness is an attitude youngsters throw around. Yeah. Okay. The moment they realize the other guy is not taken by it, they'll drop it. I mean, I see this in my youth group all the time. All the time. When I'm dealing with the youngsters, I see it all the time. Couple of statements from me, I say, yeah, it's not someone to be trifled with. We can, at the same time, we can be honest with the guy. Yeah. So, that's just an attitude. The youngsters have that. It's no big deal. Okay. Now, let us look. Same Upanishad. The dialogue between Narada and Sanat Kumara. There, Narada approaches. See, here it had to be stimulated. The teacher stimulates it out of the student. That means what? It's indicating that sometimes the teachers have to help someone become a student. We find this in our ashrams all the time. An average student has to be made into an adhikari for Vedanta. Someone who comes with a willingness to learn has to be converted into an adhikari. It takes some time and effort, but that's part of the game. Okay. Which every teacher may not be willing to play. Okay, so don't expect every teacher to be like that. Narada going is different. Why? Narada is an all-powerful figure. Okay, not the joker he is made out to be in media, Hindi films. No, all-powerful figure. He is a shokasya param tarayatu. Guy has understood a sense of limitation, the sense of finitude, the existential grief that is there in every heart. In fact, the teacher is surprised to see Narada coming as a student and saying, Shokasya param tarayatu. So he says, tell me what you know. No, then I can teach you what you don't know. When Narada gives a list of knowledge, each discipline will take many years to master. You can't think of Narada as an expert in martial arts, but he was. Dhanurvidya says, I mastered that. Triloka Sanchari. So, now the whole approach is different there. Approach is different. Solution is same. Yeah. Solution is same. Because Bhuma Vidya is being taught after that. Because all that you know is Alpam. I have to teach you what is Bhuma. It's called Bhuma Vidya. So again the same thing. So students can be different. One a youngster, other a mature person, a rishi. Okay. Approaches can be different, people can be different. Problem is the same, the human problem of finitude. The teaching is the same, limitlessness. Therefore, Mahat Tatparyena, with great Tatparya, what is being taught is what? Brahman Jagat Karanam Shastra Deva Avagamyate. That is being what is revealed in all the dialogues. Yeah. In Kena Upanishad, it looks as though the approach is almost biological. Kene Shitam Preshitam Manaha. Impelled by what or in the presence of what does the mind know? Seems almost a biological approach, no? Yeah. The approaches can be different. What is beyond life and death? Kathopanishad. Yeah, kid. A teenager going to study. Kid. I want to know what is life beyond. What is beyond birth and death? Yeah. कुछ है क्या? Same questions. Why? Because everything is connected to Vedanta. What is it that is not connected? Vedanta is the reality of life. So every aspect, from any aspect of life, you can start your journey. Ambition. I was just talking with someone about this young lady you might know, very ambitious lady. At the same time, set up an industry, very helpful and very keen on Vedanta. It's all the way. Very keen. Through ambition you can come. Why? Think big. Yeah. I'm after the biggest thing in life. What is the biggest thing? Yourself. The limitlessness is the biggest thing you can achieve. No? Okay, so ambition you can come. Okay. Through a sense of helplessness you can come. सब कुछ हार के आया हूँ, अब क्या हार चढ़ाएगा? Arjuna's case, can I kill my kith and kin? He doesn't have problems about his skill or his knowledge or his ability. That is not under question there. It's not a crisis of confidence in that sense. Yeah, confidence. He says, how can I kill them? That's the question. How can I bring myself to kill them? That I can kill them is evident. Okay. He doesn't suffer confidence in that. Then what about those statements where he says, we don't know whether they will win or we will win? Yeah, because that's the nature of action. You can never predict. Yeah. I've seen great warriors falling for a sucker punch. Some punch got through. I'm sure you didn't see the punch coming. Correct? You didn't see that punch coming. Yeah.
It's like
Exactly. One of our persons here is a good martial artist, studying martial art. So she has come in with a black guy. Okay. But that's good lakshanas. You have to get that. Only then you'll really learn. Yeah. So, that is, he is only revealing the nature of action there. He is aware of it. Yeah. Yeah. So, there is where you think you come from any angle. You start anywhere. Most people come out of a curiosity. No? Most of us started out of a curiosity. Let's learn what's all this about. Something about a heritage, culture, this, that, etc. It started like that. It doesn't matter how it starts. Then the problem is discerned, the solution is given. Okay, alright. Okay, Purasthan. Nacha tadgatana padana Brahma Swarupa Vishiye Nishyate Samanve Avagamyamane Arthantar Kalpana Yuktaha. Says, this is the ascertained meaning of the Vedanta Vakyas. Okay? Tad Gatana Padana. Vedanta Vakya Gatanam Padana. The words which is there in the Vedanta Vakya, Brahma Swarupa Vishiye Nischite means well ascertained that Brahman's, the Swarupa of Brahman is what is being revealed. Samanvaye Avagamyamane. All that you gain by the Samanvaya, by looking at the whole Veda, Vakyas harmoniously in that section and then coming to it. Na Arthantar Kalpana Yuktaha. Na is right in the beginning. Arthantar Kalpana Na Yuktaha. You cannot have any other meaning. If you do that, you are having a great problem there called Shrutahani and Ashruta Kalpanam. You are giving up what is heard. Shrutahani. Ashruta Kalpanam. What is not heard is being imagined. Either deliberately or accidentally. Accidentally it happens in a class. Na? Some of you said this last time and I'm wondering, Kabhi bola? When did I say that? Shrutahani, Ashruta Kalpana. That happens because of a miscommunication. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't understand this line.
Shrutahani.
No, this Najatat.
Tadgatanam padanam. The words that are there in those sentences. Which sentences that he has quoted?
Okay.
Vedanta Vakyana. Okay? Brahma Sarupa Vishiye Nischite. You are ascertained very clearly that it is dealing with the Sarupa of Brahman. How? Samanvaye. Samanvaye Avagamyamane. By the harmonious reading, you come to this understanding. Okay? Therefore, their Arthantar Kalpana, to take it to mean something else, suffers from the fault of Shrutahani and Ashruta Kalpana. Okay. Can be deliberately done. You deliberately choose to misunderstand.
Everybody in Karma Kanda basically does that only.
No, Karma Kanda, in its section it doesn't do that.
Huh.
When it's extending to Vedanta, it is doing that. See, in its own section, whatever Karma Kanda, all the arguments given is perfectly valid for its section. For the Purva Mimamsa, all those are perfectly valid. Here, the attempt is to overextend it to Uttara Mimamsa. There, it becomes invalid. Like remember when we were discussing with Abhiramanji. Yes, Abhiramanji. We came to that. Yeah, he's saying Vedanta is a Purva Paksha in the Karma Kanda. How can Vedanta be Purva Paksha? Correct, hai? Because you are dealing with Karma Kanda. I don't want a moksha. मेरे को ये चाहिए. We are dealing with how to set up a temple. Okay, Agama Shastra. So na karmana etc. is not valid there. You need a lot of karma etc. Invocation, deity, all that is necessary. Correct, there it is necessary. But if you are saying that is necessary for moksha, that will become what? Jnana karma samachaya, Shrutahani or Shruta Kalpanam.
So basically an adhikari will only get it, otherwise either you don't understand or you get something which is
Either
not
it is not understood, mistaken understanding, even when an adhikari can make a mistake, communication error. Remember all the communication errors we saw, so that can happen.
So the Swamiji, Gita is misinterpreted and misread by like yoga people and
Everyone. Gita,
military people have their own version, management people have their own version.
most
So
misunderstood
then
text.
misunderstood, then this sentence is so much because it is dealing with Vedanta only, no? So
Shrutahani or Shruta Kalpanam, that's it.
So it could be because somebody is like did not hear it properly or is
no, they hear it all properly,
No.
they interpret it is in their own way.
That also can happen, no? Interpretations can be wrong.
Yeah.
Or see, when you are teaching, why do you get doubts when you are teaching? Where do you get doubts?
Because we are not seeing
Because-
all the nuances that you are connecting.
Exactly.
Or probably mind is throwing up because there are a lot of
Biases.
Your background, your
or
bias,
probably
we all have that.
Ours-
Even an adhikari may have less, but it is there. Because every adhikari comes from with a certain background, no? Comes from a certain exposure. So, bound to have that. Yeah. Bound to have that. Some of those things will be there. So Shrutahani or Shruta Kalpana, that's why it happens because of this biases, background, etc. Or here also is happening because of background and bias. His bias is coming from Karma Kanda. That's also a bias. It's strong. Amna is a Kriyar Tattva, Anarthakya Madatattana. That is the whole thing is coming from. That is his mantra. Which is true for Purva Mimamsa. There it is correct. It is not true for Uttara Mimamsa. The Upanishad section, it is not true. That is why Vedanta is a positional name given to the Upanishad. And that positional name is important.
It comes after the Karma Kanda.
Yeah, the end portion of the Vedas. Anta Bhagaha is Vedanta. Now you are saying end of knowledge, end of this, all those other interpretations, then this one goes out of the window. If this one goes out of the window, how do you establish a Bhinna Prakarana? You can't have a separate Prakarana in the middle. Unless it's a story or something, then you can have.
There are statements though in the middle
Yeah, statements
that
can be there.
indicate concept.
Yeah, statements can be there to indicate to create jignasa.
Yes, sir.
That can be there.
Some parts of some of the Upanishads are there, no? Like Taittiriya and all will come some.
No, it's coming at the end. All of them are coming at the end.
Except Ishavasya.
Ishavasya is the only
is in
thing
the
that
middle.
comes.
Yeah. Isavasya?
It comes in the middle.
Middle, yeah. So there are rare exceptions to the rule are also
It
there.
means the cream. So
Huh?
it has to come at the end.
And it, yeah.
The cream of the creams.
No, it's more than the
Not
cream. It
cream
has
or
to
the
come to the
cream.
end to establish separate prakarana.
Prakarana.
That's important.
Right.
Because
But all this chanting which we do even in Ganpati festival now, they are chanting Badram Karya Pashava. They are all Vedanta only, no, actually. So then they don't accept.
one second. They are prayers picked up from the Vedas. Okay. Yes, Stuti prayers. So they will technically come under karma. Vachikam karma. Every prayer is a Vachikam karma. Then why are you saying it? Because when you are going to study Vedanta? Because God's grace is necessary to understand Vedanta.
Right.
So invoking God's grace. Sahana bhavatu, let me not fight with my teacher. And
Most important prayer.
Good one.
most important, especially with a teacher like me who is also a friend. Once I leave the Vyasapita, Vyasapita is a chair now. Okay, today. I have a buddy, I have a friend. So, you need God's grace to understand the whole thing. Therefore, you invoke it. See, when we are dismissing jnana karma samuchaya, where are we dismissing it? For the sake of moksha. You are not dismissing it in your life. In your life, it's all jnana karma samuchaya only, no? You are making a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Jnanam and karma both are involved in a cup of tea.
Imagine having a conceptual cup of tea.
My husband will be so happy. Just think
Jnana
about
and
the
karma
tea,
is
don't
like-
think my head.
Suresh will have a tea.
You can't avoid it. Na? In your life, it is always there.
It must be
Because it is there in your life,
concept.
there is a tendency to extend it for moksha also. It doesn't work there.
But Swamiji, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Like, see, for example, in any study in life, like
Yeah.
whether it's finance or
Yeah,
management or
anything.
medicine or anything, it is always study
Knowledge and
followed by
practice.
action.
Yeah.
They say that if there is a distance between doing and knowing,
Yeah.
then there is you don't know.
Yeah.
Because you have not done. So
Correct.
what is the point in gaining so much knowledge when you are
Correct.
not applying? Like in our conferences also,
Agreed.
you go and study.
All knowledge.
And
All
so when
knowledge.
तुम लोग next time आते हो, if we have not applied, then
Then there's no point.
So in this knowledge, like people, we like 20 years, 25 years, we are learning. Same thing we are learning. It is just one message, but then we are not doing anything. And then we don't even know, like see, if I learn something, I apply, I know I have progressed. Here, I am listening. So my husband was just asking today, कि ये कब तक चलता है?
That almost implies like तूने बहुत slow हो गया.
good
also
one.
been asked that.
Good, it's a good one. See, partly, in fact, that question definitely comes from,
Husbands.
no, it comes from the fact that in every branch of knowledge, there is knowledge and application, knowledge and application. Only when you apply will you really understand. Your knowledge is clarified with application. Therefore, you know nuances, etc. There are simple things. Even making a cup of tea, there is a standard methodology. Okay, if you go to a catering college, there is a standard methodology for it. But every cook, even chefs, they'll have minor individual variations because that is how that standard method is applied by each one of us.
In the movie, Mr. Modi,
Hmm?
he is teaching
Yeah,
how to make tea.
tea, exactly.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah. So in all this it is there
Beautiful.
because minor variations will come in. Okay. Yeah. And therefore that orientation is brought to Vedanta. That is why there is so much of time spent in negation of Jnana Karma Samachaya. And how do you know that you know or not? When you are clear of the fact, I am limitlessness. In spite of unhappy experiences, I am Ananda. This is the text. In spite of unhappy experiences, I am Ananda. How will I know otherwise? You will
But
not
that
know.
is the attitude many people carry anyways.
That it's different from attitude. Knowledge and attitude are two different things.
Yeah,
That's
many
like
people
an
are
attitude
so
is a
cool.
coping.
You know,
Like
It's a
you know,
coping
about even if
mechanism.
there is an earthquake, people are cool. I mean,
And
they are not so
one second.
disturbed.
Attitude, this is known in our culture. If you go North India, Benares,
Yeah.
Lucknow, that side,
Yeah, they are.
they'll say this. "अरे बहुत खुश लग रहे हो आप, क्या गम छुपा रहे हो?" You seem very happy. What is the sorrow that you're hiding?
Camouflage.
Yeah, those guys that say, no, very, very psychologically aware. Very psychologically aware. क्या गम छुपा रहे हो? Attitude. No, this is not attitude based.
An attitude can get you only up to a point.
Point,
Right?
that's
After
all.
that, it's
After
not
that what? You'll break down.
This
You'll
one-
break down.
Swamiji,
Yeah.
can we also put it this way? In all other field, like in the Mithya world, there's a gaining of knowledge.
Hmm.
So the application has to be there.
Yeah.
But here it's not a gaining of knowledge in that way. It's
Yeah.
a removal of the ignorance.
Fair enough. Yeah. It's
So then
negating
where
it.
is the
But how do
question
you
of
know when you know?
application?
That's the question.
the question.
You know when you know. That's it.
How do you know?
Yeah.
One of the indications is not attitude based, but it is based on understand that you are Ananda. I am experience is miserable. You are Ananda. Experience is miserable. But are you Ananda? Like it. That's why I tell these stories to indicate that. Tirthaji, once he had an ear infection. The neurogenic shock of the pain, he fainted. So we lifted him up and put him on his bed. Tough job. Okay, must have been about 120 kilos. Huge guy he was. So then he, in a few moments, he was back conscious. Maharaj ji, kaise ho? Anand mein hai. You just fainted with the pain. But you are Ananda. In spite of that, you are Ananda. Yeah. We get a headache or a pain in the hand or this
We
thing.
don't go to class.
Everything gone. Class gone today. Or I couldn't understand anything. My headache. Headache I can understand. That is directly connected. My hand is paining. Arre, hand is paining though. You are not understanding from your hand. But it happens. Yeah. So that the height of it, of course, this is not may not be possible for every wise person. Bhishma, injured, waiting for his death on the bed of arrows, pin cushion has become arrow cushion, and he is teaching. My God, height of it. Of course, that he had a warrior background helped. Yeah. So that, in spite of all the problems that you are going to go through, and believe me, you will go through issues. Study of Vedanta does not guarantee you problem-free life.
Good one.
But you will be Ananda in spite of all of that. The final test is there only. You know. How do I know? I know. It's clear for me, I know, yeah. Nobody doubts they are a human being. No? I am a human being, yeah, given. Who doubts it? You feel insulted if you question that. Yeah. So, similarly, you don't have a doubt your limitless consciousness. So, the study and owning up happens there. So, for that, the study necessarily has to be non-conceptual. You can't keep on trying to conceptualize what you are hearing. This is very, very important part of it. The more you conceptualize, the less you will know. You will pick up the word, the terminology, all that you will pick up. But you will not know. Now I am going to deal with Vedanta teacher who says Ishvara is not necessary. Janmadhyasya tha bhul gaya kya? So this is all a result of conceptualizing the study. See, in the beginning, okay, a little bit about that also. In the beginning, the study a little bit has to be transformative. Transforming a personality to a good adhikari. So the transformative happens from your karma yoga buddhi, upasanas, worship, japa dhyanam, all of that. Those are transformative. But that's not pure Vedanta. Okay. Those are the transformative. What I call the secondary sadhana in Vedanta. Those are the primaries, Vedanta Shravana. So both have to happen side by side. Because that's where the fine tuning will happen. If I am taking time to understand, which all of us took time to understand. Okay. Every teacher who has gone to study full time has studied for a few years, like how all of you are studying. 10 years, 15 years sometimes, before they took it up full time. Okay. So, you keep fine-tuning your mind, etc. The insights gives you enough insights into Vedanta, helps you fine-tune that. So that aspect of it sometimes when you are learning in society, you don't pay attention to. Where is a fine-tuning necessary? The control part of it, that, what is my bias? Those are the things, that has to be fine-tuned. So like for example, when I started studying, I had a very strong secular bias. All religions say the same thing. So I used to go about looking in different religions, the seeds of this. And the seeds are always there in every religion. That much you have to give it. Father and I are one and the same. God is formless, all that is there. Then I understood about Shadlinga Vichara. Then when I looked at it, all religions are not the same. Okay. All religions are valid forms of relating to Ishvara, that's fine. That much you can give it. Okay. You can invoke the Lord in that form. Even that sometimes I have to question. Why? If my form of relating to Ishvara is chopping off the heads of those who don't accept my way of worship, how can that be a valid form of relating to Ishvara? Like in our Indian tradition, there are some people say, no, I don't want Advaita, this, that, etc. I only want to do bhajan for seva for Ishvara. That's a valid form because he's not disturbing anybody else. But if that guy is going to come and attack me because I am not accepting his form, I am thinking of something different, then there is a problem with that guy. That's not a valid form of relating. Valid form is in conformance with dharma. You live and let be minimum. Minimum involves live and let live. This is my valid form. You have a valid form, you relate. I will not sit on your head, you will not sit on my head. I don't want to change you, you don't want to change me. Yeah. But if you want to change each other, then what's the problem? The problem is you're doubting your validity. Yeah. There are various ways you will relate to one person, isn't it? Someone will be a lover, someone will be a friend, someone will be a buddy, somebody will be parent, this, that, child. So if you are looking at Ishvara as a finite entity, or you're conceptualizing Ishvara, and you want to relate in various ways, you are right. No? How can one be more valid than the other? All are valid then. If you can't accept that, then you are not relating to Ishvara. You are having a bias and a conditioning. You are not relating to Ishvara, you are relating to, anyway, nobody is relating to Ishvara, they are relating to their idea of Ishvara. That's why, remember, I did those 6 stages of understanding Ishvara. 6 different stages, depending upon your psychological maturity. Yeah. So when you are a survivor, etc., that level is where all these things come up. All the battle and thing comes up at survivor level. Because for my survival, you should not survive. You threaten my survival. So, what I am trying to say is, I came to Vedanta with a psychological, secular bias, that all religions are the same. No. In fact, no religious leader is happy with that statement. Why? I think my religion is different from yours, not same as yours.
All religions lead to God, you can say.
At the most you can say.
Same.
Relating to God, that much you can say. Not more than that.
Swami Ramakrishna said that.
Huh?
Swami Ramakrishna
Yeah.
said that.
Or you relate to God in your own way. Yeah. That's okay. Apna mein variety hai na. So many varieties of Ishvara there. Relate your way, it's perfectly fine. That relating is meant for your growth, not to condition you further. That's also important to understand. Your relationship with Ishvara is supposed to be a transformative thing to help you grow and finally come to Vedanta. If it is not transformative, it's not working. If it is not transformative enough to make you a better person, it is not working. Yeah. It's making me more judgmental, making me more angry. Everyone is wrong. More critical. Yeah. Then how is it transformative? It's only adding to my bias. So your Viveka Vairagya is being able to accept your bias, to understand that you have a bias and examine it. No? Yeah. And get yourself free from it. Yeah. That is the... So, this aspect goes along with the study, because we are not come to Vedanta as Uttamadhikaris like Shvetaketu or Arjuna or Gargi, Maitri. We are not come like that. We all have certain fine tuning to be done. So along with the study, we have to do the fine tuning. So fine tuning will be different from each one of us, because our backgrounds are different, isn't it? It's not just oh, I've been brought up in Bombay, therefore I'll have similar bias as someone else brought up in Bombay. No. Bombay, there are circles and circles and circles within it. The Bombay of Ghatkopar and the Bombay of Matanga is so different. Yeah.
Ghatkopar is safe up me.
I'm talking about which is just few kilometers across, 10 kilometers.
Sorry.
No, I am not from Ghatkopar, I am from Chembur, which is very different.
Again, very different. Yeah. Chembur, Ghatkopar, we are neighbors.
Very different, my God.
So the biases are also very different. Will be, na? So this fine tuning is what has to go. And if Vedanta is not working, some of this fine tuning I have to examine it. What is the bias in my life? Like people of the same family, the bias can be different. No? Same family, it can be so different. So, This fine tuning is not happening, therefore the problems come up. That's why it seems as though there is no end to the studies. Of course, there is an end. End is what? Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That's why it's symbolically represented in some of the dialogues when the Natvam Sishyaha Naham Guruhu, etc. That's symbolic of that. Okay, symbolic of that. Okay. Okay, Shruti Hani Ashruta Kalpana. There is some more there, but that will take a little time. So we will meet again, not next Sunday, the Sunday after that. That will be the midst of Navratri. Okay? Yeah.
28.
So good place to stop.
20.
Okay. Om Tat Sat. 28th, I think.